Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be speaking about karmic soul relationships, all right, or partnerships. Now, those of you who are not familiar with me, last week I had done a video on a list, probably about 10, I'm not sure, of spiritual partnerships and contracts that we actually have with the people that we are doing life with right now. And these are pre-contracts, contracts that we have made as souls prior to coming in to this life, to do life, right? And we have made agreements with these people around us, whether it's our family, our friends, our jobs, even in our communities. And we really subconsciously work together to fulfill each other's soul purposes here on earth, right? And so if you're not familiar with that video, and this is something like, wow, what is this? Go to my page, like it. It's Life According to Lena Facebook page, and I have those videos there. And I also updated with 2 other videos. I think one was spiritual partnerships soul partnerships and soul crossings, and also another one was called Twin Flames, and that one was really good. All right, so this one I'm going to be explaining karmic soul relationships, and I'm going to continue every week to go down the line with different videos and explaining each one of those particular soul partnerships that I explained in the very beginning. So first of all, let me explain what karma is, because a lot of people have a vague idea of what karma is. If you ask anybody what karma is, they'd be like, yeah, karma is a bitch. No, it's not. Well, karma is going to get you and da-da-da. No, it's not. Karma is not good nor bad. It's subjective. It depends on how you perceive karma. And when people do something good, you don't ever hear someone say, oh, girl, you did so good. Karma's going to really get you for that one, right? Should be saying that as well, because like I said, karma is not good or bad. Karma is nothing more than a reciprocal action governed by the law of compensation. You get what you receive, right? And that's good, bad, or indifferent. And that's a spiritual law, right? So whenever you see someone prospering that appears to be really evil at the moment, just know that in the past, they planted the good seed of karma, right? They did something good. And since life is governed by seed, time, and harvest, as in all things in nature, right? With planting and fruit and just everything, seeds of everything, it takes time. You plant it, it grows, and then it sprouts, right? So that's what happens in life. So when you see someone who appears to be evil and they're prospering, it's because they planted a seed of good karma back then, and now they're reaping the benefits. Now, just the same as they're doing bad things right now, them seeds are going to come up in their life later on down the line too, okay? When they're actually doing something good, and then those negative things are going to come and it's going to destroy that harvest. So it's just an ongoing cycle of seed, time, and harvest, and that's what karma is, right? Now, why karma happens? It's a balancing of energy. We all have to experience every part of everything in this world, right? We all have to be the up and the down of it, the in and the out of it, the about and around of it. We all have to experience love and hate, good and bad, life and death, okay? We all are the victim and the villain. We played all parts. And so with karma, that's the same thing. We have to balance that energy, okay? We have to experience things from a different perspective, from the perspective of which the other person have experienced it. We have to experience that same thing, right? Now, karmic partnerships are people that we have spiritual connections and contracts with pre-life, okay? Pre-life. As souls, we made deals and contracts with people to come down here and do life with us and have all these different types of spiritual partnerships, because due to the accumulation of experiences that we've had in all of our past lives, all of that experience from being reincarnated, and just keep in mind, we don't live many lives, we live one. It's just a continuation of life through the process of reincarnation, right? So through all that experience, we know who we are as souls, and we know all the things that stick as souls on a subconscious level, right? And because of that, when we're planning our lives before we come down here, we make spiritual contracts with people to help us accomplish our goals for spiritual development. And it's all for good. It's not for us to suffer. It's all for us to learn and have physical experiences with physical reality. And this is the whole purpose of us having a physical body and having this whole physical universe, when the core of us, we are actually spiritual souls. That's who we really are at our core, right? And so we have these people coming down here doing life with us and helping to bring about those experiences so that we can play our part and learn from them. So they play their part and we play our part. So when it comes to spiritual partnerships or relationships, these are people that agreed to help you balance something. And they agree to come and pop up in your life at that particular moment, whatever moment that you are in, whether it's good or bad. Now remember, karma is good, it's not good or bad, it's subjective, okay? It's only bad to you if you go through it, it feels bad, and you don't understand it, you don't get the lesson, then you perceive it as bad. But if you go through it, don't understand it, if you go through it, you understand it, although it's painful, you're grateful for it because you got the lesson out of it, then it's no longer bad, even though it felt bad. You understand what I'm saying? So, they come into our lives to help us in a particular time in our lives, and typically through in times of crisis. I'm talking about negative karma. I forgot to mention in the beginning. We're talking about clearing negative karma. Should have put that in the beginning. Yes, this is about clearing negative karma. So they agreed to come in and help us balance our karma, our negative karma, and turn it into something positive. And that's the whole point of karma, right? And so we don't only have just one person. It could be a multitude of people, because like I said, based on our past experiences with life, we know how stubborn we can be. So we could have set up a whole bunch of people down the line. Okay, I might not listen to you, and just in case I don't listen to you, I might listen to that person. But you know what? Sometimes I can be very hard-headed. So you keep your position and you play your role, because all the way down there, person number 25, if I don't get it between by the time you got to right here, I'm definitely going to get it down there. So we set ourselves up like that. And that's the whole reason why. Let me just I don't even know if I'm going off tangent or not. See, I talk too much sometimes. That's the reason why when you see someone in addiction, they have all these resources available. Every time they go into rehab, every time they go into a hospital for detox, they have all these resources helping them. Well, they set those up for them, and they chose to be born in this time to work certain things out and to have all those resources available for them. See, life works together, all right? And it's not a coincidence, okay? And so anyway, these people come into our lives to help us clear our negative karma. And so let me give you an example of what those relationships may look like to clear negative karma. And I'm going to start with some intense experiences of clearing negative karma. And so that way you can see the process of it and how it works and how it serves us. So you get someone that's a drunk driver, and they happen to really critically harm someone or even possibly kill someone, right? They're the only ones who live in a car, even though they're the ones who killed everybody driving, right? Those people have set up people to come help them clear their negative karma, right? The only thing that will keep a person from actually going through the process of clearing the negative karma is if they really, really just lost their way, like completely lost their way. And we do that in this life because this life is hard, okay? We all know how difficult this life can be. So this person ends up critically injuring someone, didn't really mean to do it, but it happened, and they have that guilt. So negative karma is associated with real deep-rooted guilt. I keep looking at the times. I'm trying to keep it short. Good luck with that, Lena. It deals with deep-rooted feelings of guilt, right? And so this person goes to jail, or whatever consequences or repercussions that the system has for it. Now that's one aspect of the karma. That's reaping and sowing. That's really dealing with, earthly consequences. But the real transformative spiritual lesson in that comes in when they end up in jail. Okay? And they end up in jail, and now they meet someone that's able to help them overcome that trauma, overcome that guilt. Not to forget about it, but to basically, help them understand it and help them work through their feelings. Now, like I said, we set up multitudes of people to do this for us. It can be one person, it can be 20 people. It just depends on how hard-headed we are. But there is someone that's set up to help us. And if we are willing to open up and listen, and if we are truly remorseful of what we have done in our life to cause this kind of crisis in someone else's life, then we need someone to help us turn it around. So it'll be that person, and you won't go to them; they'll find you. When you're dealing with a negative karmic soulmate, they find you because they're drawn to broken people who have tragically messed up their lives in a way where it caused pain and suffering to other people, right? And so they seek you out, and then you end up with these people, and they're the one, they end up becoming your spiritual guide. They not only help you forgive yourself, but they also help you to turn the whole thing around in your heart. And then they also help you to understand, to cause you to want to look at your life, to see, to examine just your life and what has led to that particular point in your life. And as a result of these particular people helping you, whether it's COs and from the jail, correction officers, or whether it's the nurses in the jail, or wherever, or counselors that you're going to see, whoever they are they're designed to help you turn your negative karma into positive, right? And so what ends up happening is this really remorseful person will end up turning all of that around at the end of the day. It may take years, and then they end up becoming motivational speakers to kind of help other people who are struggling with that type of disease or addiction, to give them the resources that they need so that they won't make the mistakes that they made. So like I've always said, there are no wrong roads. There are no wrong paths to take, because if you can learn from the seemingly bad paths, and they're not bad, they're actually good, even though we prefer things not to happen. But life can't progress and things can't get better for the next generation unless things do happen, right? It was because of that drunk driver that AA laws have been, that driving law, DWIs have been enforced, and, those machines in a car to help you, to help you drive. If they detect any alcohol, then you can't drive, the car shuts off, all of those things. Without any of that, had it not been for those particular types of situations, those new systems that's in place to save the whole would not have existed. Now, of course, it's casualties to war to everything, because you may be saying, well, how about nothing happened? Well, if nothing happens in the world and everything is perfect in the world, then why are we even here? Go back to my videos and find out why we even came to Earth. We didn't come here to have beautiful experiences. We can have that up there. Okay, but in order for us to learn about love, we have to experience hate. In order for us to learn about forgiveness, we need something to forgive. In order for us to develop in forgiveness in love, right? We need something to forgive, and that's where the victim and the villain comes in at. They have this spiritual partnership. Okay, in this life, I'm coming down to you, and you be the victim, and I'm going to be the villain. But in me being the villain, please don't forget who I am, because this is not who I really am. I'm just doing this to help you, and we can help each other spiritually grow. So that's how life is. You just don't realize it. You just don't realize it. But as you follow me more, you'll get better understanding of what I'm talking about when it comes to these spiritual partnerships. Yeah, so that's an example of negative karma turned positive. Now, people may say, well, these people were murdered and they deserve the death penalty. Be what it may. But believe me, when a person has gotten to the point where they turn their lives around and they end up affecting more people in a positive way, massive way, and making generational shifts in our communities in this world to leave the world in a better place, trust me, they have had to have suffered in a deep way, and it may not even be conducive to the life that they destroyed. I understand all of that. What I'm saying is turning that negative karma positive. And because a person can shift their karma by learning from it, by accepting the sentence of it, by doing whatever it takes to make amends with it, they turn that karma around, and then they no longer suffer from that karma. In fact, they're making differences, positive changes in other people's lives, and that's the retribution that they have on their lives, and that may have been their purpose for their lives, to leave this world in a better place, to lead humanity with different systems that will help out people that's suffering from that type of addiction, right? And then that goes all across the board with a lot of things that appear to be negative. Let's say something positive, positive karma can be where you've done a lot of good in your life, and you think you've done a lot of good in your life, but whatever you genuinely done from your heart, someone shows up in your life here with a gift to give it back to you, give you something out of nowhere. It could be someone in a store that you just meet, and they just happen to pay for your groceries. Or it could be someone when you're driving on a highway and you hit a toll, and the third person says the person in front of you just paid your toll. They have no clue who you are. These are soul crossings, and these are people that are set up in your life to give you compensation for your good work. So like I said, karma is not good nor bad. It just is. It just depends on how you perceive it. It's all subjective. It's all subjective. And trust me, when negative things happen to you in your life, if you are able to examine yourself, you will see in your life, if you're honest with yourself, where you may have went wrong or how this possibly could have come about. Because another thing that people get wrong when it comes to karma is that let's give another example. They get in a relationship. Now, they have been a dog their whole life. They have been mistreating women, mistreating men, whatever the situation, all their relationships they have done wrong. Now they're finally ready to settle down and be goody two shoes, and they honestly give this person everything that they have. And it's that person that they finally decide to settle down with, that they absolutely trust, and they open up their heart, become vulnerable with. That's a person that betrays them. They don't know that person was sent to pay them back, to give them the compensation for what they've done all those other times, right? Because we all have to reap and sow. And so they don't understand why. They're like, why? Why did this happen? Like, I didn't do. You know how many people I spoke to where they say that they don't understand how this relationship went so bad when they was totally good. And I would tell them, well, did you ever treat anybody else bad in your life? Yeah, but that was then. Now I'm doing my best. Well, seed time and harvest. What do you think? A seed grows overnight? That seed got to catch up. It got to grow. It got to sprout at some time in your life. So just because that person that you crapped on way back then didn't do anything about it and they were left victimized, how did you feel how did you come to the conclusion that you were in the clear? Right? Now, if you did all that in the past, and before you got to your next relationship decided to really turn your life around, because now you realize that you have really destroyed some lives, and you made amends with these people, and you called them, and you really had a coming to Jesus moment, to the point where nothing really bad, nothing had to happen to you, but you just got to a place in your life where you just wanted to turn that around, then you clear that karma, okay? But if you haven't done that, you have to experience the other side of that. You have to experience what it's like to let yourself go and be completely vulnerable with somebody and love somebody and trust that one person, and for that one person to show up as a certain type of person at the end of the day and give you the lesson that you have given so many other people, right? So that's another way. And that happens a whole lot. I spoke to quite a few people that felt that way. They felt like they didn't understand why they was getting what they was getting, because now they were good. Well, you didn't plant that seed now. The seed that you're planting right now, the karma seed that you're planting right now, may be good. But that's got to show up down the road. Whatever's showing up right now is from back there. That's from that garden over there in the corner that you forgot about. So anyway, this went all the way to 8 minutes. See, I don't know how to shut up. I talk too damn much sometimes. But I hope you guys learned from this, okay? And I'm going to be going through the other remaining soul connections and partnerships and contracts that we have with people in another video. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet, but you guys be sure to go to my page and like it. Life According to Lena, right? Go to my website, lifeanddeathbydesign.com. Not life and death, lifedeathbydesign.com. You'll see that on Facebook, on Instagram. Just go to my website where you'll see my podcast, and I speak about life, death, and everything in between. And so, So I hope you guys learned from this. I hope this gave you some kind of insight into what karma really is and how it serves us, and recognize it when it comes. If something happens in your life, it didn't come unearned, it didn't come unwarranted. It came because it was supposed to come and teach you something. So your best bet is to always try to find a lesson in that thing. Don't claim to be a victim. Oh, this shouldn't happen to me, and I'm a victim, and the devil is attacking me. Not. The devil is not attacking you, because the only devil is your fear or your resistance to change. It's the evil that you place on yourself because you don't want to change. You don't want to see yourself in a certain light. But we have to see ourselves in a certain way. We have to try to be open and vulnerable, with anybody, with ourselves. Look in the mirror and look at who you really are. Forget about the good stuff. If you have to eliminate all the good stuff, look at whatever's left after that and look at those things and how they might have affected someone. Okay, and then look at all the good that you've done and know that you got karma coming back in that same way as well. So we all experience good and bad of all of it. We all get all of it, and this fluctuates in our lives, and it comes in nickels because we plant seeds in nickels. We don't do good all the way through. We do good in certain pieces of our lives, and that way, that's why good happens in nickels, sometimes pennies, and bad happens in quarters because those bad emotions are so much more stronger that they reap a bigger harvest. Yeah. See you guys in my next video.